How you guys doing? If you don't know me, my name's Trevor. I'm the owner and head trainer of Kingdom Come Dog Training, and I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I've been doing content for a little while now on Instagram. We just reached 5K on Kingdom Come. I'll link it in the description. It's Kingdom Come GTX. We're located in the Williamson County area of Texas. But I wanted to start a series of building my dog training van. I just bought this van not too long ago, and I'm starting the process of building it out, insulating it. I'm gonna put some crates in and do all the fun stuff that you would do with a dog training van. When I started this process and was looking into doing the van for the purpose of doing like a day train kind of hybrid program, I found that there was a lack of this kind of content on the internet. So I want to document the process of how I'm building my van from, a blank canvas all the way until it's completely finished. There's videos on how to do certain stuff, and that's kind of what I'm gonna do here. I'm doing everything based off of videos I've seen, and then also just like what I want, because my van's obviously gonna be unique to what I want from it. But I wanted to document the process. So today, as you can see behind me, I have some kill mat sound deadening already installed. This is the first layer, and this goes underneath the insulation to absorb some of the road sound. This is what we do when we start a van build, is you do this first. This van is super loud, and I'm trying to get it insulated before this heat gets any crazier in Texas, so that way it can hold a little more AC for me and my dog. But this van won't be completed probably until about next summer, so you guys will be able to stick with me throughout the whole year-long process of building this van out. But today I'm gonna kind of go over what I've done so far, and then show you guys kind of how I'm applying this kill mat stuff, where it's most important, things of that nature. So I hope you liked the video. Drop a comment, like, subscribe, do all the things, and I'm excited to have you guys here along on this journey with me. I hope you guys enjoy and maybe learn something new, get some takeaways. Hopefully, if there are any other dog trainers watching this video, you guys kind of have a better opportunity to learn from me and my mistakes. Like I said, there wasn't a lot to watch as far as building a dog training specific van. A lot of people would show their builds and show their van, but not the process of doing every single step it took to get to that point. So that's what I'm here for, and I hope you guys enjoy. So this is the kill mat stuff. I bought a lot of it because I wasn't sure how much I needed, but this is it. It's got these little bubbles, and this is the back. You peel this off, and then there's a black sticky side on this side, and that's what we use to stick it on. To roll it out, the goal is to flatten all these little bumps on whatever surface they're on. And we use this. I got this on Amazon. It was like a 3-pack. There was 3 of them, but I use these and we roll it onto the metal. And then this is for like some of the sharper edges. I can kind of tighten it up because this isn't going to fit in between those. If I need to cut it, I use scissors. This flathead is for popping off the door panels. And then if I do need to measure something, which I highly recommend you guys do for some of the smaller panels, we just use a measuring tape. There's the boxes for other ones. And then we have a cleaning solution and a dustpan and broom for the floor. I'm gonna sweep it all out so that way there's nothing kind of in the way of getting, there's a lot of like residue and stuff in here from dogs and walking and all sorts of stuff. So we'll clean the surface before we do it. I already did it with all of this stuff, obviously, but I got to do it with this one again, just for the spots that I need to do. So we're going to put 2 panels on there. All right, so this is what we have so far. This is the kill mat stuff I was talking about. What we do is the sheets come in pieces this big. Obviously some panels are a little bit smaller, so I cut the panel up a little bit, but we only need to cover about 25% of these empty spaces. So this is kind of what we have going right now. This wheel well is just about done. We cover a majority of the wheel well. I could cover the whole thing if I want to, and I might later in the future. I just want to make sure I have enough of this kill mat beforehand before I cover it, and then if I need to do something and then I don't have enough, I have enough just by doing this. So we got to finish this one. I'll kind of show you how I'm sticking these on and how I get them to be nice and flat, and then we'll go into the door panels. 2 of the most noisy areas of the vehicle are the wheel wells with rocks kicking up, and then the doors themselves, because they're basically like empty shells. So I got to pop off these kind of door panels here and kind of put some kill mat underneath them, and same thing with the passenger and driver's side door. And then the next step is going to be doing the floors. So these little high panels already kind of have some sound deadening. If we tap them here and then tap here, there's a little bit of a difference. So I'm going to cut these kill mat sheets into little strips and kind of put them here. I'm not going to cover the whole floor, but I'll do a big portion of each kind of section. And then same thing with the ceiling, with leaving a space. I believe I'm going to do it here for an exhaust fan that I have to cut a hole in, and there'll be a whole other video on that. But let's start the process. Let's finish this wheel well and then get into the door panels and the sliding door. Hopefully this is a good enough angle for you guys. My apologies, I don't have any type of tripod or anything like that, so you guys are just propped up on the van. But what we do is we peel this off and then we just stick it right on. The way I kind of stuck it on, I kind of use my hand as a squeegee. If we notice here, let me grab this. If you notice here, there's these bumps. So when I kind of stick this on, I'm kind of flattening it so that way it goes over the bumps kind of smoothly, but then this will do the rest of the job for me. So if you notice, I stuck this on, I kind of put my fingers along the lines to kind of get into the seams here. And then with the roller, if you notice, it looks very different here than it does here. I just kind of roll it on like this, and that gives it a nice flat surface to stick onto the sheet metal behind it. I'm doing this and spending the extra time and the extra 15 bucks to get these tools because I imagine that it produces a better result than if we just left it like this. But mind you, this is going underneath everything. So there's going to be, you know, insulation and then sound panel or wall panels and everything and such on top of it. So no one's ever going to see this stuff, but I imagine doing this maybe gives it some sort of better result when it comes to the sound deadening qualities of the kill mat. So that's why I'm doing it. I'm spending the extra time and I spent, you know, the extra 15 bucks for the tools and to do this because I want to do everything right. And this is what, you know, it says to do on the packaging. So I'm going to go ahead and roll all this and then we'll go onto the wheel well, the curved part of the wheel well. This is flat, but it does have these rivets and stuff. And I'm going to do the same thing here. But when it gets to the curvature of it, it kind of can get a little sticky, no pun intended, but it can be a little tricky to kind of get everything flat to the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and then I'll show you guys that process. Now, when it comes to the curved surface, I'm trying to replicate what I did over there. And what I did over there was instead of trying to like make it all perfect and sexy, I just kind of went at an angle here to see over here where this is angled to a point where I can curve it down without it getting caught up on here. But it's still going to have its own challenges when you do it like this. So I'm going to stick it here. It's going to be a little bit there on top. But then when it bends down, notice how it will kind of curve nice. That's what I'm looking for here. Stick this here. Now, there's going to be some bubbling, so to speak, right here on the bend. And all I'm going to do is snip right here and then flatten, and that will give me that nice curvature. All right, so this is what it looks like after that process. I just rolled everything on. Notice how there's no more of those like bumps. Perfection is not the goal. Just want to make sure this is nice and flat and kind of shaped and molded to the surface. And that's all I need it to be. So this is what I was talking about right here. So notice how it's flat on the curve, but then right here is going to get a little tricky where there's going to be some bends in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip right here about an inch in, snip right here an inch in, and then snip down here where the bend's already happening an inch in, and then I'll flatten them over each other. Like the little flaps, I'll just kind of flatten them over each other, and I'll show you what that looks like after. So now that we have this done, this is all flattened. As you can see, no more bubbles or anything. It can get tricky as you get closer to the floor because this thing's a little big, so getting the smaller one helps too to kind of get into these nooks and crannies down here. But let's go move on to the door panels. All right, so we took the door panel off. They just have like these little pop-a-roo thingies on them. I don't know what these are called. If anyone knows what these are called, you can drop it down in the comments below. But what you do is you stick, there's a tool for it, but I just use the flathead. You just stick the flathead in between these two things. See if it will focus, and then it will pop open, and then we can just pull them out by hand. There's a bunch of them, so make sure you don't lose any. But if you look at the door panel, there's two sections here. If you hear this one, if we tap on it, there's something in there, right? It's not super hollow. But if we tap this one up here, a lot of noise. So we're gonna stick one here and one here, and hopefully that will reduce some of that noise. I think we might stick one here, but we'll leave it kind of bare for now because it's kind of fine. All right, so I stuck one of them up here. Unfortunately, when I peeled it, some of the cardboard stuff stayed on. They do say do this in warm weather. Obviously, I'm in Texas. It is pretty warm here because the paper itself can like not come off properly, or maybe if it's too hot, it'll stick. I'm not sure, but it's only like a little piece like right here, so I'm not worried about it. Granted, this is pretty far up there, but I'm gonna use the smaller one or the medium-sized one to kind of do the best I can with flattening it, but I'm not worried too much about it. You can already hear the difference from that to this. There's a big difference. You might not be able to hear it, but I can, especially compared to this one down here. All right, so I did some of the rolling, tried to get up as far up as I could. If you do have gloves, I suggest wearing gloves because these edges here are definitely pretty sharp. I mean, they could definitely get your hand. As you can see, look at my knuckles. Sorry, it kind of was whacking them a little bit. Wear some work gloves. We're gonna do the same thing to this door panel. The big door panel, which will just have bigger sheets, but we're gonna do the same process. And then the two driver's side panel and passenger panel, they look very similar to this. They'll have like a bottom piece, and then they have a top piece where the top piece is gonna be a little bit more noisy. So we're gonna stick them on the top piece I'll show you guys once we get there. So I just did that door there, and then I took off the door panel for the sliding door. And if you notice, there's already some sound deadening in here. So this is probably factory. What I'm gonna do, there's no sound deadening up here. So I'm gonna put some there, and this is pretty solid down here. So I'm not gonna do anything down there. I'm just gonna put 2 little stickies on each side here, and then I already have them up there. All right, there we go. So we just did 2 little stickies up top. Now we're gonna do those 2 doors, and then we'll touch base after that. So I'm deciding to leave these doors alone for now, because as you can see, these panels are a little bit more complicated. I don't know how to take this off. I could look up some videos and maybe get to it later down the line. But as I'm tapping this is pretty sound absorbent already. So what we're gonna do is do the floors and the ceilings, and I'll see you guys when we're doing that. All right, so this is what we're going to do for the remainder of the floor. Probably gonna skip like a little gap and then do no more strips there, and then skip a little gap, strips, skip a gap, strips. Now these strips are 2 inches wide to fill in these little blank spots. I could have done for these little bumps and stuff, but these have some noise reduction qualities already. The vans come kind of, that's what the rivets in the ceilings are for, is a little bit of sound deadening. So we will do strips. There's 5 across here. Probably gonna alternate. So like on this next one, I'm gonna put them there. So they'll be alternating from these ones because there isn't an even amount or an uneven amount. So that's what we'll do, and then I'll show you when the whole floor is done, and then we'll probably save the ceiling for another video. I mean, we'll probably just do it, and then the next time you see the van, the ceiling will be done. We'll save that for either the installation video or the exhaust fan, but I'll show you the floor once it's fully done. All right, so we're gonna wrap the video up here. As you can see, I did exactly what I said I'd do, kind of 2-inch strips and kind of off center them going all the way up the van. Now, there's still a lot of free space as the van gets wider past the wheel wells, where I'll probably do some more kill mat, but I'm gonna do this for now. I'm exhausted, I've been doing this for like 2.5 hours. So the next time you'll see the van, the ceiling will be done in a very similar way as this, and then there'll be some more kill mat here and on that side as well to absorb some more sound on the floor. But other than that, this is what the first kind of process and stage of the van is going to look like. Next video, we will most likely be doing insulation. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you guys tune in for the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.